It was past midnight. The glow of my phone lit up my face. The coffee had gone cold, and one question kept circling in my mind. How do intelligent people end up quietly sabotaging their own lives? It's a strange thing. Truly strange. From the outside, everything looks fine. They're educated, sharp. You can tell within the first minute that they're smart, but when it comes to their own lives, it's as if someone else is holding the steering wheel. Now pay attention here. There isn't a clean, guaranteed connection between being intelligent and living well. In fact, many times, it works the other way around. And almost no one talks about this openly. We've all seen it. That brilliant student in school, the teacher's favorite, always at the top of the class. Years later, you look at them and see someone stuck, constantly overthinking, unhappy, relationships falling apart, jobs changing again and again. Meanwhile, the kid who sat in the back, barely paying attention, somehow built a life that feels lighter, more stable, more peaceful. This isn't coincidence. Here's where things get interesting. Highly intelligent people often live too deeply inside their own minds. They're excellent at thinking, not always great at living. They analyze everything, every option, every outcome. And after all that thinking, they do nothing, because in their head, they've already lived every possible version of the future. While life doesn't wait. Life keeps moving, quietly, without asking for permission. When an average person needs to make a decision, they often say, "Let me try and see what happens." A highly intelligent person asks something else. What if it fails? What if the timing is wrong? What if there's a better option I haven't considered yet? And the questions keep multiplying. Action gets delayed. Momentum disappears. I'll be honest with you. When I first truly understood this, it surprised me. We're taught that intelligence is an automatic advantage, that if you're smart enough, life will somehow sort itself out. But real life doesn't operate that way. Pay close attention to this. Highly intelligent people tend to be extremely harsh with themselves, compassionate toward others, ruthless toward their own mistakes. They make a small error and replay it for days, sometimes weeks. Yet if someone else made the same mistake, they'd say, "That's human. It happens." The inner dialogue is where the real damage occurs. That voice never stops talking. It analyzes, judges, compares, criticizes. And when you live with that much noise inside your head, peace becomes difficult to reach. But there's more. Intelligent people often try to solve life purely through logic. They keep emotions at a distance. They label them as irrational, unnecessary, inconvenient. But human life is not a spreadsheet. You can't calculate everything. Think about relationships. Someone expresses something emotional, and immediately the analysis begins. Why did they say that? What do they really mean? What's the underlying motive? Sometimes the right response isn't analysis. Sometimes it's silence. Sometimes it's empathy. Sometimes it's simply saying, "I understand. This part matters." Highly intelligent people often disconnect from feeling, and when feeling disappears, life loses its flavor. Everything functions, but nothing truly satisfies. There's also this quiet pattern. Many intelligent people feel different early in life, slightly out of place, as if they don't fully belong. Over time, this turns into distance. People don't really understand me, they think. Eventually, that belief becomes a barrier. Loneliness follows, quietly, gradually. Now, listen carefully. Loneliness isn't always about being alone. Sometimes it exists in crowded rooms. Conversations happen. Laughter fills the space. Yet inside, there's a sense of separation. Intelligent people experience this often. The irony is this: they're excellent at helping others, solving problems, hiding advice. Do this. Don't overthink it. Let it go. But when it comes to their own lives, that clarity disappears. Why? Because objectivity vanishes when you're emotionally involved. Fear enters. Past mistakes, expectations, pressure. And suddenly, that sharp mind becomes clouded. Here's another critical point. Highly intelligent people are often raised on one word: potential. You could do great things. You're wasting your abilities. You're meant for more. These statements sound encouraging, but they carry weight. Heavy weight. Eventually, a quiet fear forms. What if I fail? What if I waste what I've been given? That fear becomes paralyzing. It prevents action, avoids risk, promotes safety. And safety, over time, can feel suffocating. Now we arrive at the core of it. Intelligent people don't ruin their lives because they're lazy. They don't fail because they don't care. They fail because they care too much. They take everything seriously. They internalize every outcome. They personalize every mistake. Eventually, exhaustion sets in, and this exhaustion is invisible. It happens internally. You might recognize this in yourself. You know what needs to be done, but you can't start. You understand the next step, but you don't move. And then you criticize yourself for it. Pause here. This doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It may simply mean you're using your intelligence in the wrong direction. Intelligence is a tool, like a steering wheel. But if you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter how good the vehicle is. Remember, you don't need to figure everything out before you move forward. Sometimes, movement itself creates clarity. Highly intelligent people wait for the right moment. But the right moment is rare. Sometimes it doesn't exist at all. Life often asks for something simpler. Try. Adjust later. And perhaps the most uncomfortable truth of all: intelligent people sometimes undervalue happiness, as if happiness is for simpler minds. They seek depth, meaning, complexity. Yet happiness is often found in simple moments. Morning light through a window, a quiet breath, a sense of ease. To be clear, this pattern is not destiny. But if it goes unnoticed, it becomes very easy to live beneath your own potential. If any of this feels familiar, you're not alone. This isn't a flaw. It's a pattern, and patterns can be changed once they're seen. The first step is awareness. The second is learning to be gentler with yourself. If you've made it this far, something here resonated, and that may be the beginning of a subtle shift right now.